Just feel free to share the room. Let's continue to share. Let's follow the people next to you, follow the people on stage. We're creating an unbelievable community here on Clubhouse. So, Dave, I'll pass it back over to you with a question as we bring more people on. And the question is, of course, we're here at Web Summit, 70,000 people. You gave a keynote here, you did a masterclass, Ask Me Anything. You've done so much. What's been the most meaningful aspect of the trip so far for you? And then also, what did you learn from that aspect of the trip?
Yeah, it's interesting because this is an event that was the world's largest IT tech event with over 70,000 people. And, you know, through the pandemic, through COVID, it was canceled and then it was halfway there. And what my takeaway is it's sure good to be back. And the energy that's created when you have an event with 70,000 people and the amount of opportunity, options, and touches of favor of a collective consciousness of entrepreneurial, innovative, good-hearted, good-handed, and good-minded people has been incredible. And I will say that I've been going to these types of things for such a long time, and it's incredible. This has been the best event that I've ever participated in, and it has the most options of how to give back. And so we had everything from the largest Ask Me Anything stage to a keynote about authentic brands on the thousands of people on the bigger stage, and then even mentor hours. And then, of course, we had about 20 different podcasts with everyone from President Obama's president of his foundation, to Neil Patel, to incredible entrepreneurs of Philips and, you know, GoTo, and it's just unbelievable event with unbelievable people. Every turn of the corner, there was some lesson to learn. And I don't know if anyone's ever been to Web Summit, but you got to put it on your list for next year. It's incredible.
You heard it here first. Next year, Web Summit here in Lisbon, Portugal. Thank you so much, Dave. So many great interviews, Q&A, questions, answers, and just great people all around. So we are in Portugal doing the Ask Me Anything with David Meltzer, the BYOQ. Dave's been doing training for over 23 years. So let's continue to share the room here on Clubhouse. Dave will be bringing on some guests as well on Instagram. I think Craig Siegel, the first guest, is actually ready to go, Dave, on Instagram if you want to bring him
perfect.
up.
It's not just the future of work. It's actually the future of training, because we're doing Friday training on Thursday. So that is amazing. Siegel the Eagle, if you could request to come on Instagram, that'd be great. I don't see you there yet, but I'd love to see you, unless he's on Clubhouse and got confused. What do you think?
I saw him comment on Instagram, so he should be requesting now. But while we wait, it looks like we have Justin here on Clubhouse. If you want to take a quick question, Dave.
Oh, let me see the comment. I didn't see him comment on my Instagram. It's funny because I always have to request him. I don't know where he went. Maybe he doesn't know how to request because he's always doing his own show. Oh no, he's commenting I'm here, but he doesn't request. I'm going to do the same thing to him next time. What do you think? I'll hit him.
That's fair.
I got him coming on. Fair. That's fine. I do the Paradigm Shift, Jake, with him every Saturday, and we bring some of the best people on. But there he is. Hey, buddy, you got to learn to get good lighting. You got to learn how to request. I got the incredible Siegel the Eagle, the CLS Experience, King of Swing. He also is the Paradigm Shift host, which is my favorite Saturday show, and I'm blessed to have him as a compadre of mine. Welcome to Ask Me Anything, the BYOQ, the future of Friday training and the future of work. What's going on, Siegel? Where are you?
What an awesome trip this was. What an event for anybody listening out there. I'll start out with a nugget. You know, I was only in here for one day, and that's enough, right? Because what is the cost of inaction? When you have opportunities like this, number one, you have to create them, and then you have to seize them, because as Dave always teaches me, it's the long game mentality, right? So we spoke a little bit this time. Next time we may have a bigger role, more than likely, and also the connections you made today. So thank you for the opportunity, and what an awesome trip so far.
That's awesome. And, watching you, because I have the luxury of hindsight and the Monday morning quarterback of mentoring and the Monday morning quarterback of being here for 5 years and seeing that you're where, or even farther than I was when I started off, and you're emceeing big stages. But what I really got to see is, you took the effort to show up, and every turn that you made, whether it was MC, whether it was sitting backstage while you're emceeing, whether it was sitting at a booth or listening to a speaker or even going to dinner or hanging out in the lobby, every single time that I was around you, there was more opportunities that came at ease to you. There was power sponsors and sponsors. There was organic introductions. So instead of having to be a favor of Dave Meltzer, where I'm calling somebody going, oh, I love Craig Siegel, he's amazing. Have you seen the CLS Experience and Paradigm Shift? Have you been on his podcast? Can you, do me, quote unquote, a favor and interview him, or quote unquote a favor and come on his show? Instead, just by you being and showing up, people at our frequency were like, dude, you got to do this with me. We got speaking at South by Southwest. We're going to go do this other show. Craig, I saw it, you got to do it. And we had elevated a frequency. What question comes to mind for you as you now just experienced what I call the authentic, organic frequency neighborhood instead of the forced neighborhood of trying to cold call by knocking on doors?
Paradigm shifts, and I don't mean episodes of our weekly show. I mean life lessons. I think this one might be top 3 favorites of mine. And for anybody listening tonight, specifically that's building a personal brand, which many of our listeners and followers are, Dave, I'd like you to explain why sometimes the quick home run can actually hurt the credibility of your brand, as opposed to taking that long game mentality and earning it. So when the time is right, there's more of an audience to see it.
Yeah, and I saw this in my own life because I got out of law school and made $1 million 9 months out of law school. And I always felt as if how and what would have been impacted if I had to continue to struggle to make that money. And so, especially in building a brand, because we never know what's going to hit. And that's why consistency is so important, because you never know what's going to hit. Because of statistics themselves, every once in a while, for example, if I have 100 people I'm helping build their brand, one of them is going to hit every day on average. That means whatever the video is, whether they like it, don't like it, think it's amazing, think they're amazing, or don't, everyone's going to hit on one day. And one of the biggest dangers that I see is when I have a client that I'm helping to build their brand that states they have a long vision, get success early on, and then they expect everything that they do to get those kind of results. Now, I've been with the biggest names in the social media space, the Gary V's, the Tom Bilyeu's, the Ed Milet's, the Dan Fleischman's, the Neil Patel's, whoever it may be. And we all, on certain days, have content completely flop as far as what people's ego would think that flop. Now, the ignorance of most people is they think that that means it wasn't a good video. For me, the criteria of a good video isn't that it got 1 million, 2 million, or 3 million views, which is a terrible thing to happen on your first video, because then you think every video of yours is amazing and everyone should get that, which is an impossibility. But even worse, you lose the understanding of what you're aiming for. We talked about today that I have some videos, especially on LinkedIn, that don't do very well, but the 6 people that it does well with are chairmen of $1 billion companies. And the reason it didn't do well in the masses is they didn't understand it. But people who had been through building a $1 billion company are resonating with a highly complex frequency that I'm emitting. And so only 6 people, but I have to be consistent, 1, to get any type of traction, and 2, to get credibility on social media, and then 3, to get those 6 people with 1 video. Now, all the people that don't understand it, didn't like it, and think that I'm a loser because my video got 6,000 views compared to 6 million views. But meanwhile, those 6 chairmen of $1 billion companies changed my life, and those videos are the best videos. And those people that take shortcuts will never learn that lesson, never be able to experience that lesson. They'll be too stuck on nobody loves me, nobody liked it, because of the number of people that viewed it. The number of people that view it have nothing to do with your long-term success in content or brand building. You have everything to do with it, and what your expectations and trajectories, they determine your success.
You really are a beautiful buffalo. Totally.
On the tuna can, the tiny tuna can. I love you. Everybody, come and join us on Saturdays. How many episodes have we done in a row without missing?
Boy, this week is 85.
Magic 85 this Saturday. Even though we're both traveling the entire world, not just country, you'll see us there on Saturday. I'll be in Indiana. Where will you be? The Big Apple, and I'll be in the big, I don't know what Indiana is. I guess it's the big pick a fruit. I don't care, whatever. It's the Big Shapiro. You heard of the Big Lebowski? It's the Big Shapiro's, because I love Shapiro's Deli in Indiana. Anyway, Craig, I will see you. Have a safe flight home. Thank you for always showing up. And more importantly, thank you for being the icon of consistency and showing what we can do with that. You're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for paving the way. Love you.
Love you, man. Thanks for coming. Thanks for showing up. He's awesome. All right, Jake, let's reset the room. We're here on the future of Friday training and the future of work. What do you got to set the room for me, brother?
Yes, the home of Shapiro's in Indiana. That's what you will be on Saturday. Resetting the room here. Welcome, everybody. This is the BYOQ. Bring your own question. Dave will bring the answer here on Friday training, which is actually on Thursday this week. In the future work room here on Clubhouse. Dave is currently live, of course, on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, all the above. Let's take a quick second here to share the room here on Clubhouse. You can do that at the bottom. There's an arrow with a square. So let's continue to share. Follow the people next to you. Follow the people on stage. We're continuing to bring on great questions here on Clubhouse and everywhere else. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask Dave, just raise your hand or back channel me and we will aim to bring you up. So with that in mind, Dave, I'll pass it back over to you to bring on another guest on Instagram.
Yeah, you got it, man. I have another incredible guest, an incredible entrepreneur. Jason Julius is here, and he just popped on, his gorgeous little giddy self. Speaking of Indiana, yeah, I'm just surrounded by the best Hoosiers in the world, and he is one of them. He's the CEO of Double J Brands. He Coffee Junkies, if you haven't checked it out, and Pizza Junkies. Unbelievable franchise that is growing so swiftly with a great leader. And what makes him a great leader is an intelligent follower. I haven't met a man who is seeking knowledge so quickly. He reads every day, he asks questions, and he asks for help. Welcome, my friend, to our Future of Friday training on Thursday here on IG, every single platform out there. How you doing, Jason?
Hey, brother, how are you? That's they all seem to have nicknames for you. I prefer the ferocious Buddha.
Oh, me too. You know, that man knows what I love, because I think what best represents people like you and I is the ferocious Buddha, an anomaly. It used to be the Psycho Bunny, but they took that for all the apparel out there. And so the ferocious Buddha is the reconciliation of doing your best, learning lessons, and having fun, of being able to be an entrepreneur with the desire that you must be what you can be, but have ease and patience in doing that. Now, you've had your up and downs like everybody else. Before I get a question from you, I got a question for you, which is, through your journey of up and down, how have you learned to reconcile having a ferocious attitude and activity, but still being patient, wise, and at ease to be a Buddha?
Honestly, the answer comes back to almost the question I have for you, and that's that realistic expectations. I mean, the overnight success is a fallacy, and you know that. I mean, you're putting 5, 10, 15, 20 years into something until you're discovered, and then all of a sudden it's an overnight success. So it is that consistency and just trying to have realistic expectations, and then realizing that I'm walking my path and I'm on a journey. That journey is a marathon in life. And whatever develops, trying to make the most out of every piece of every day and enjoying the journey itself.
and to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit in that journey is so important, as you know. So speaking of that issue, you have a relative question for me about managing expectations or realistic, pragmatic decision making. What is exactly the question that I can help you on the BYOQ today?
Well, I think anybody that actually starts down that journey of developing their own personal brand, you get unrealistic expectations. So knowing that you have millions of followers, I mean, like, what are the realistic expectations that people should be looking at when they start developing that journey? Because I just don't know of anybody that decides they're going to put themselves out there and inside of a couple months they realistically have 1 million followers. What are realistic expectations of a fruitful personal brand as far as timeline and development?
I love this question because I think it's the biggest challenge that people have to determine how much am I going to invest in my brand, and then determine the timing and risk tolerance of that investment to determine not only the trajectory, but the ROI, the return on the investment, and the multiple outcomes or better that they're looking to have. And that entirety helps us to manage realistic expectations. But I think the first question to ask, a lot of people don't ask themselves, and especially they're not honest with themselves or the people that they ask help from, is number one, is this a hobby, or do I have a desire that I must be what I can be to build my brand? You talked about discovery and discoverability under the context that I believe that we have an unlimited size, scope, and scale of an audience. Discoverability of not only being discovered by those people that are at our frequency or our neighborhood, but more importantly too, knowing who has discovered us. And those people that have an ego-based trajectory of a hobby of getting millions of followers, that's okay. But you have to be honest about what you want, because if all you want is followers, then buy them. Do contests, go buy followers, have people fake follow you, have people fake comment. And if you want to soothe your ego in a very fast way, and you want to go ahead and make this a hobby so that you can jump online and say, oh, I got 2 million followers, and I got all these fake comments, thumbs up, heart, peace sign, smiley face, whatever you dig, without anybody hating you because nobody's really engaged with you, so you can dictate all the positivity, the thumbs up and smiley faces and peace signs that you want, then be honest with yourself. It's okay. It's okay to have a hobby about building a brand or having a podcast or wanting to be a side hustler or whatever it is. It's okay. But it's not okay if you're not honest with yourself, because then you're going to end up in blame, shame, and justification when you don't get what you want. And you're going to waste a ton of money and lose a ton of relationships because you're going to pay people to do things for you, and you're not going to get it because you're doing it as a hobby. But if you have a desire that you must be what you can be, then you need to build a community. And a community is not about followers, not about viewers. A community, number one, is knowing what you want in your community and who you want to help and who can help you. A community is a bunch of people that help each other and know people who can help each other. And if you want to build a community and a brand within the context of that community that resonates with that community at the frequency of that community, the vibration, awareness, discoverability of that community, and you're willing to do it every day, enjoying it, the consistent every day, persistent without quit, because you have a desire that you must be what you can be, pursuit of what you want from your community, a bunch of people who can help each other or know people who can help each other with popping pimples or making pizzas or selling shirts with the ferocious Buddha or acai bowls or SEO or funnels or ad spends or rental suits, whatever it is, then go ahead. Be honest with yourself and be willing to detach your emotions from what you want and look at building a community that will allow you to expedite what you want by asking for help with that community, because asking for help expedites what we want, because asking for help from our community is getting directions to where other people are that are aligned in the trajectory of what we want. And then the statistical success that comes with that as well, meaning quantitatively, I want, 5 decision makers who are engaged with me or empowered by me to empower others, whatever it is, then that statistical success is deemed in only one way. Within the context of building a community, it's only deemed by finding people that you can help get what they want. Remember, my community is based on helping each other get what we want and knowing people who can help us get what we want. The statistical success is not equated in the same way as acceleration. Acceleration is created by people who are already there and can get you there. That's the fastest way to get you there. But statistical success of what you want is deemed only by the community itself. And the bigger the community of people that will help us and that we can help get to what they want. Now, statistically, it makes sense. If I have 1,000 people that know 1,000 people to help me get what I want and I can help get what they want, obviously I'm going to be more statistically successful than you are, and I'm going to get there faster. So to manage our expectations, decide whether it's a hobby or not, and then decide what you want, who can help you and who you can help. And then you'll know how to detach your emotions from the outcome and get it done, because you'll know what's important to you, not what's important to everyone else, followers, thumb up, smiley faces, the peace signs, but instead what's important to you to help empower others to change for the better the world. That's what we do. And if your world's 1,000 people, you know what I learned? I got to tell you before we be the next guest, because Jason, my biggest takeaway was from the president of Kajabi, a guy's named Sean Kim. And he said, where people fall down today when it comes to content creation is there's no middle class. Everybody either wants to be Gary Vee or they think they're nothing at all. And what they don't realize is if they create a group coaching for $97 a month and get 100 people to do their group, they create a passive income of $100,000 a year, almost $120,000 a year. If they create a training course, videoed, for $47 a month, they create passive income with 200 people of $120,000 a year. How many other things could you do that all you would need is 2 people doubling every year? It doesn't take that long. It doesn't take that many years to get to $120,000 of passive income for the rest of your life that will continually grow and grow and grow. So that's the minimum. It's not going to shrink. It's amazing because you're going to get better at what you do, in the community of people who can help you and know people who can help you are going to get more people to help you and know people who help you. So more people are going to join your group or buy your training course or buy your Coffee Junkies pizzas, whatever the hell you want, the ferocious Buddha pizza at the Pizza Junkies. It's amazing. So everybody out there, let's start joining the middle class. Let's not have hobbies with dreams of being Gary Vee. Let's have realistic, pragmatic objectives that are based off of enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of our potential, being realistic, and let's be in the middle class, and let's create a life that we dream of, because you don't need to have millions of followers to get what you want, to help who you want, for others to help you, and to know how to get that done. Prioritize what's important to you, and I promise you, you will make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. That's why I love hanging out with Jason Julius. Check him out. Following him. He has a great podcast, by the way, as well. Go to coffeejunkieswithaz.com or pizzajunkieswithaz.com. Where can they find your podcast?
Julius Files, brother. I've got I'm on all the platforms, and I don't want to say it. Spoken like a ferocious Buddha.
Yeah, you're my friend. I'm coming to Indiana. Hopefully I'll see you. I'll be there this weekend. I'm speaking in Miami on Friday, and I'll be in Indiana. We're going to go to the football game, and I might even go to a private practice from Coach Woodson invited me as well. Hopefully I'll see you in Indiana at the very least. Love you, my friend.
Absolutely, brother. Have a good night.
You too. Thanks for joining me. Incredible. Here we are in Lisbon, and I'm talking to all these cool people. if you want those practices, just email me. If it's free, it's email me, david@dmeltzer.com. That's my first name, David. My first initial D, my last name, Meltzer, like seltzer with an M. david@dmeltzer.com. It's funny, I always forget the .com, and people today, I forgot there's .style, .tv, whatever. So it is .com, old school. That's what I am. Anyway, Jakey Bakey, before I bring on my next guest, want to reset the room real quick?
Sure. Reset the room. Thank you so much, Dave. 2 incredible guests on Instagram so far. We got 1 more coming. Just to reset the room, this is the BYOQ. Bring your question. David Meltzer will bring the answer. If you have a question you'd like to ask here on Clubhouse, feel free to raise your hand. You can back channel me as well. Let's continue to share the room. Share this with your friends. Share the Instagram. Share the Zoom training. Share anything you'd like here in the future work on Clubhouse. With that in mind, Dave, why don't we bring on our final guest here on Instagram, and then we'll bring on more guests here on Clubhouse, and maybe answer a few questions from TikTok as well. So I'll pass it back over to you, and if you want to bring on Kyle, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I do. Can you check something out for me? A lot of people are commenting that Gary Vee bought the Commanders. I don't know if that's true. I'm not sure he had enough money, or if he's the lead investor or partial owner. And I'm not sure if he wanted to buy from Dan Snyder, the Commanders. But anybody out there, just confirm that, because people are going crazy on my notes here, and it'd be really interesting for me if he did. So I got my own question. Did Gary Vee buy the Commanders, or just another internet hoax? All right.
Based on primary info, looks like an internet hoax.
All right, good. It sounds like one. I mean, I know Dan Snyder. I know he's going to be selling the team, but that seemed very quick from the decision of selling to Gary Vee buying it. And I know he only wants the Jets. So I'm with you, but thank you for having fun or believing. Remember, one other lesson of BYOQ, trust and then vet. And so I trusted you all with your comments, but I'm vetting you now, and you failed the vetting process. But take that lesson for you. All right, let's bring on Kyle Walgren, the man himself, CEO of EdSoma, edsoma.com. Anyway, hey, Kyle, what's going on?
Yourself, David?
Amazing, man. So good to see you. And one of the things that I love about you is that you are truly a socialpreneur. Everything that you do in the innovation space, everything you do as an entrepreneur is to give back, and you give back in a way that I love to give back, which is empowering others to empower others, especially our children and parents. And give me a little bit of information on the new patent pending voice recognition app that you have created and are utilizing to change the world and our children's worlds.
On 2 totally different aspects.
Trust and vetted. I'll tell you who did not buy the Commanders. Me.
I just remembered that you're actually a brand builder, and you and I never talked about that, but our conversations are always fruitful. But EdSoma is an app that I built during COVID to help keep families connected through literacy. I was separated from my kids for over a year because we were cross-border. And when I was trying to teach them to read, I realized that I was horrible with it. And there was over 54 million American adults that suffered from literacy to the point where they couldn't read the menu at the restaurant. When you think that there's only roughly 360 million Americans, that's a big portion of it. So I was concerned about how we were going to keep their kids up to par and continue to enhance them in the literacy journey. And there's actually a lot of studies that show literacy and incarceration fall hand in hand. So our goal is to make sure that every child gets a chance to read, and that every parent has the ability to teach them, no matter what their financial situation is.
And for you, even though you had the financial wherewithal, there wasn't the technology to allow you to facilitate parent to child teaching. What were some of the hurdles? Because a lot of people don't travel. They don't understand why there would be a problem. So, before I get a question from you, what are some of the challenges that you learned through that process?
Yes. So
want to start by saying the easiest thing in the world to sell is an experience. And the reason I say that is because if we're trying to get our children to learn, or we're trying to get somebody to buy into something, we want them to create a positive feeling around that, right? And it's all about the memories that you can really attach to, especially like if you think back to when you were a kid, or my kids, or even your kids, David, those moments of reading to them at night, how precious they are as you grow up, or your grandchildren. And for me, being separated, or the parent, or, think of our deployed people in the army that are around the world fighting for our safety, they're all away from their children, missing those precious moments. So to be able to put that moment back in, even if it's for 5 minutes a night, to build that memory and have that bond put back in your life, it just means so much, I think. And people grow up and not realize how important those memories are. So I just wanted to make it available for everybody, no matter where they're located, to continue to do that while driving literacy to the forefront, because it is a huge problem around the world.
Yes, it is. And as we're here on our Future of Friday training, since it's Thursday and I'm in Portugal, but I haven't missed a Friday training in 23 years. And I stay to that because I allow myself to do it on a Wednesday or Thursday every once in a while. So I call it the Future of Friday trainings. That's why I'm using the Future Workroom, not Breakfast of Champions, which I'll be on tomorrow with Alicia Covey, our super guest. But more importantly, do you have a question for me?
Yeah, and actually, I just asked questions. This is what I should have done when your people reached out asking if I was free tonight. But it came to me really easy. So you know what I do? I build literacy tools, but one of my passions is trying to help young children understand how to build a business. And the question is how important do you think it is as a CEO for your brand to align personally and with the business? And what I mean by that is we teach literacy, but my passion is teaching business to young children. So how would you feel like you should align both different verticals when there's quite a bit of a difference between them?
Well, it's interesting because I've been on, a big pursuit of using sports to teach children business, because so many people love sports. And so if I can use analogous information from sports into business and give comparative analysis of, how timing and risk tolerance is analyzed the same way that a sideline coach analyzes timing and risk tolerance in the 2-minute drill at the end of the game. Or if I talk about investment in ourselves in the context of athletic pursuits. And so one of the nice things about teaching literacy is it's even less cumbersome to reconcile literacy into business, because in order to teach anything, you need to utilize literacy. And so utilizing the vernacular, vocabulary, intonations, and connotations that are taught through literacy, financial literacy, reading literacy, whatever it may be, the lessons that we want to teach, we can easily give the subject matter of that literacy business. And the nice thing is that we open up information or stimuli to an open mind through reading, right? Reading has a different impact on the brain than talking, right? Or listening to books or watching movies. And there's all types of great studies out there, which I know of how important it is to read information, not just to read, but to absorb in that way, utilizing our visual senses to interact with our brain, which then will interpret and react into the mind, the body, the soul, the subconscious and unconscious genetic and energetic and epigenetic sides of what we do. And so I would look to changing simply the subject matter of all the current literacy that you teach. So instead of talking about apples, oranges, and speeds of trains and other things that are more stereotypical in literacy programs using PIP and SIS and whoever, then I would utilize business to talk about Napoleon Hill, to talk about Carnegie, to talk about Dennis Waitley and Zig Ziglar and maybe Tony Robbins, or talk about Bezos or Jobs or, Gary Vee or even David Meltzer, and create different exercises whose subject matter is business. And it, I think, is the best way to learn business is without trying, by simply duplicating, overlapping, and reconciling literacy with the subject matter or topic of business at a very young age. You're killing two birds with one stone, and they'll remember, remind, and recollect throughout their life the lessons that they were learning while they were learning lessons about reading or literacy. So I think it's quite simple in what you do to do both of those things at once. Just amazing question. Anything else you want to add that you have going on? Well, I got you for a minute. Anything that I missed that we can help you with, or where to find?
Things that we've got to announce, but we're waiting for a couple pieces of paper to get back tomorrow. You're well aware of what they are, but
Damn it! I thought it was done. I thought maybe it was done. I could get it announced, but we'll have you back.
like checking my messages every 30 seconds, but it is, and it'll be on all our social channels. And anybody that's listening that is having problems with reading or wants to stay connected with their kids, we do have the app in the App Store. They can go to our Instagram or website. It's in our link trees and everything else, but we'd love to give it to you for free right now. We want to give back and help. So we truly believe at Ed Soma that if you teach a child to read, they can change the world. And that's our goal. So
my goal as well. Kyle Walgren, he is the CEO in Ed Soma. We're going to hear some big news for him, hopefully in the next 24 hours. EdSoma.com. Stay in touch. Keep in touch. His news is not like the news about Gary Vee buying the Commanders. It's real. His business is real. And yes, it is. But it's true. It's not fake. So that's beautiful. Thank you, Kyle, for joining me. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us on The Future of Work and the Future of Friday Trading. Thanks for joining me.
thanks, David.
Great job. See you soon. Good luck, my friend. All right. Amazing. All right, Jakey Bakey, you're patiently waiting here. It's the Future of Friday Training and the Future of Work. Why don't we invite some more people in? Let's reset the room. We're coming in on the last 20 minutes of the Future of Friday Training, our Friday training for over 23 years.
Sounds like a plan. The Future of Friday training on a Thursday here in Portugal at Web Summit. We just had three incredible guests on Instagram. We got people lined up to ask their questions here on Clubhouse. Maybe we'll take a couple questions on Zoom training and on TikTok. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. If you have any questions that you don't get a chance to ask Dave or want any of his trainings or guides, you can email him, david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com. So, Dave, with that in mind, do you want to take a quick question on the Zoom training, and then we'll bring up Justin Allingham here on Clubhouse? Does that sound good?
Yeah, I got tons of them. So the hardest part of me, I'm trying to look through them all here. Yes, I would love to take it. We're blessed, as Jake knows, to have over 70,000 people registered for the Future of Friday Training, or the Real Friday Trainings. Brenda has a question. Hi, David. I've been investing in buy and hold real estate for the last 13 years, basically using the same strategy you said you initially started. With any advice or suggestions for real estate investors right now? Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked. So I have some great real estate mentorship people that have been around the game, have won and lost billions with a B dollars. And we all agree that we need to invest in cash flow today, cash flow properties today, because if a property can cash flow today with the lack of demand and the high interest rates, then we know that it's going to be successful in the future of cash flowing then. So you're mitigating a ton of risks and securing a future exponential margin by investing and finding properties that cash flow today, even with all the challenges exist in the real estate market today with high interest rates and the cumbersome philosophies and strategies that are utilized. And if there are, by the way, tons of properties that still cash flow today, but they're going to cash flow better tomorrow because we've been through the sales cycles and the market cycles of real estate. And we know that interest rates eventually will go back down. And the minute they go back down, the demand will go back up, the prices will go back up, and more importantly, your payment will go down, and you will make a greater margin, and your property will cash flow even greater than it's cash flowing today. So the thing that I would look at today, if you're making a real estate investment, is does it cash flow today, at least break even? Because we know the impact of the market turning back to where it was in the future, and eventually it will. And because properties that cash flow may not make as much money in a down market with high interest rates, that the cycle will come back around, and then you get the exponentiality of the return on an incredible investment, where not only your cash flow increases exponentially, but the value of the property does. And whenever a value of a property goes up and interest rates go down, we are able to take what? That's right, tax-free. That's right, tax-free out of our property, tax-free income. And if you're living in California, that's about 52. Maybe when you take it in 7 to 10 years, it might be 62. Talk about profit. On top of the property going up, on top of the cash flow, it is the best way to invest in real estate. So if you have any more questions about cash flow investments, please, if it's free, email me. My email is simple. It's my first name, David, my first initial D, my last name, Meltzer, which is seltzer like with an M, Meltzer, like seltzer with an M. So first name, David, dmeltzer.com, David at dmeltzer.com, David at dmeltzer.com. Email me. If it's free, I will send you all the information you need on cash flow investment, what I would be doing today in real estate. Thank you for the great question. Jake, where should we take our next question? We got tons on every single platform. I'm getting so confused.
Let's take a question on Clubhouse. Let's bring up Justin Allingham. Justin, if you could please unmute yourself. Welcome to the Clubhouse. All right, it looks like Justin stepped away for a second. Let's bring up Oliver. Oliver, do you want to unmute yourself and ask Dave a question?
Hey everyone, how's it going? Dave, how's it going? Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for coming on.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me. My question is for all the entrepreneurs out there who are listening in. A lot of people say that really coming up with the idea and early execution is the biggest part about being an entrepreneur. And I'm curious to hear from your perspective, once you really identify that idea and you believe that you can make it into something big, I'm curious to hear from your perspective, what's kind of the step-by-step plan that you go through when you believe that you came up with something that can really generate a lot of revenue for yourself?
Yeah, when I come up with a great idea, then I go ahead and ask for help. I find people who sit in the situation I want to be in and ask them for help with my idea. And I then think about, as they give me help with my idea, who can I help with my idea and who can help me? And then through that process of knowing my who, I can then figure out how to prioritize my time with the new idea, all within the context of one golden rule of building and executing on an idea, which is, if I decide to continue to pursue the execution and the monetization and the building of my idea, the materialization of my idea, the monetization of my idea, then I have to guarantee that I'm going to stay in business. And so my first priority every day, as I ask for help from people that are sitting in a situation I want to be in and finding people who I can help with my idea get to where they want to be, I make sure and guarantee first that I'm going to get at bats tomorrow. Because sooner or later, if I detach my emotions from the outcome, from the trajectory in which I think I want for this idea, if I detach all of that from that outcome and lessen and ease the resistance that's created it by not slowing down the process, but actually speeding it up by enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of that idea, the materialization and monetization of that idea, if I can go ahead and do that, then I will guarantee my success. I can't guarantee the timing of that success. I know that by asking people for help, it'll accelerate it. Asking and building a community of people that I can help with what I want will also create the statistical success, so that If it was going to take 100 years by utilizing this approach, it may take 20. If it's going to take 100 months, it may take 20. If it was going to take 100 days, it may take 20. But I don't care because I've detached my emotions from the outcome. I don't and won't enjoy or be more happy when I get there, but I will enjoy every single day the consistent, without quit, the persistent pursuit of that objective, that trajectory of what I think I want, with an open mind, open heart, and open hands, utilizing pain as the indicator that I have lessons to learn, being a hypocrite, meaning I learn fast and will change my mind or trajectory each and every day, but I'll be capable of being up to bat every day by staying in business. You and everyone around you can take any great idea, utilizing these systems, these daily practices, this ability that you have, the what, the who, and the how, in order to create a better now for yourself. Like I said, I give this information every day. If it's free, it's we. You can email me for it. You can materialize and monetize any idea using this perspective. I just can't guarantee you how much time it takes, nor should you care if you detach your emotions to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. Hope you're hanging with that. Hope you understand that, because that's the core, the foundation of all ideas that I have, personal and professional. Thank you so much, Oliver. What an extraordinary question. And hopefully you will pursue your potential as well. Thank you, Jake. Where should we take the next questions? We got about 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, let's see if Justin is back here on Clubhouse. Justin was trying to mute. Justin, you want to try muting again? Unmuted. All right. It looks like it doesn't work. Dave, why don't we get a question on TikTok from Tony? I can ask it for Tony. The question is, how do you build a brand and find a frequency?
Well, they're one and the same, right? So, understanding a brand is understanding an essence, is understanding a frequency, is understanding a vibration. There is only one brand, and that's the authentic brand. It's the uniqueness. And there's only one unique thing in the world. It's you and offsprings of you. And that isn't just your children. It's the product, services, solutions, the capabilities, the skills, the knowledge, and desire that you have. That is your frequency. That is your vibration. That allows the discoverability because it allows an awareness. And the goal of having a brand is to be discovered and to be discoverable and to discover those who have discovered you. All of these fall within the context of a neighborhood, a community. And if we remember that the essence of a brand is a vibration or a frequency, then we have to realize that an authentic brand, a product, solution, or service of that brand is in a neighborhood or a community. And guess what? That's right. Your frequency is your neighborhood. The frequency is your community. Your authentic self has that frequency and vibration. And you can visit that community and receive people who have equal vibration or frequency to you. They know that they have touches of favor and options and opportunities that are far greater than those at a lower frequency. And so the core, the essence of building a brand is to look within, inside your own brand, your own product, service, or solution, and find the essence. Be Shakespearean about it. To thine own self be true. So even if you're Dr. Pimple Popper and you think about, man, I love popping pimples, but nobody else in the world would, that is a frequency. That's an essence. And the size, scope, and scale of the neighborhood to be discovered, to be discoverable, and to know who has discovered you is incredibly large. So Dr. Pimple Popper can end up with a TV show on Bravo. She can end up with more subscribers on YouTube than the entire Pro Football Hall of Fame. She can end up having more followers and engaged impact in a world by simply popping pimples, something that disgusts 90% of the people on Earth. But 10% of 3.7 billion would equal more followers than The Rock, more followers than Kim Kardashian, more followers than Gary Vee. Because why? Because we take a perspective of the middle road. Be a creator for the middle class of creation. Eventually, some of the middle class of creation end up being Steve Jobs and Jeff Bezos and others out there in the 1% of the 1%. But guess what? Because of the size, scope, and scale of the audience, and being our own authentic self, being true to thine own self, and because the whole world is our stage, so Shakespearean in nature, we can capture, we can modify, we can amplify and perpetuate our essence in order to be in the middle class of content creation. Simply getting 100 people at a time in the materialization and monetization of what we do, 100 people at a time that will end up creating so much passive income that even our grandchildren won't have to work, but they'll want to continue on our legacy of our essence. To thine own self be true. The whole world is your stage. Find your frequency. Your frequency is your neighborhood, and you will be blessed with more options, opportunities, and touches of favor than you ever would believe. Thank you so much. What a great question. That was from TikTok. All right, Jake, you want to take someone on Clubhouse on the seminar? Wait, let me set the room. It's the future of Friday training. Even though it's Thursday, we're doing Friday training for over 23 years. We have every single platform going, over 70,000 people registered, thousands of people participating, and we are with Jakey of the Bakey. Where should I go, Jake, and who should I answer?
Try Justin again. Justin, are you here?
Gentlemen,
Whoa, third time's a charm.
sorry, gentlemen, I apologize. I'm not sure what was happening. With regards to the education, gentlemen, a little while back, I'm a long-time teacher who came to self-development and mindfulness understandings in the sort of later, early to middle parts of my life. And then I started using them in the classroom because while I was relearning these things, I saw how relevant they were to children who were learning them. I was raised in an abusive household. I now live in that house because I needed to put a roof over my kids' heads. But my question is this, gatekeepers, both in my personal history and in education as a teacher, have been an issue for me. So essentially, I want to fix the system, but I'm trained to a certain degree to genuflect to the gatekeepers that educated me to be a teacher. I do things in the classroom that are contrary to orthodoxy. Essentially, what I do is take all the stuff that I learned when I was 35 and teach them to children when they're 5. So the stuff that you were just saying about above all, to thine own self be true, I believe authenticity and digging for the real you is the real brand, the real power, the real point of leverage in this world. And rather than having a world full of children and their parents using social media content in a dependent and consumptive way, I want to embed creation from the get. I want to put it in the family. So basically, start off classroom, start off home, that kind of vibe. Now, my question to you is this. My inclination is that I need to go directly to parents rather than indulging in any head fakes towards the traditional education system. And my second question is, in an education system for my entire life, and because I haven't run a business of my own, even though I feel like I know what I need to do, when I work for someone else who has more experience than me in a startup setup, it's almost like having a personal trainer. Like when I go to the gym and I've got a personal trainer, I know exactly the exercises I'm doing and I feel like I can just grind, just smash. But when I'm doing it myself, I feel the shadows of my father. I feel the shadows of the violence and judgment that is in my history, whether it be within my family or within the teaching profession organizationally. And I'm seeking some degree of clarity on how to best go forward, go straight to parents or worry about the school system, start my own thing, which I feel like I have the archetype for, or work for someone else to learn that experience and feel like I can learn without breaking anything. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And I think the first step is, before you make most of the decisions that you want to make, I think you have to be a little bit more patient and more interested than interesting. I think you're onto something, absolutely. And I think what I would do is shadow or do research and learn more about each of the individual aspects that you're asking about, meaning what is today, and shadow what are they doing today in the realm that you're looking at, and then in the school districts, let's say, and then what do you like about what they're doing and what don't you like, and go ahead and codify that, and then look within the parents and find out what they like and what they don't like about what is being done today. And then once again, look at companies that you could work for, mentors that you could have, and see what they like and what they don't like. And then each of the realms in which you have questions about, then prioritize by learning what's going on today from each of the different parties or principles or platforms that you're thinking about. Learn about them to a point where you then can prioritize which one and which place to start. And then when you prioritize which one, then really delve into what you like about what they like, and what you like about what they don't like, and what you don't like about what they like, and what you don't like about what they don't like. And now you'll be prioritized where you should be starting. And two, you'll be prioritizing what needs to be changed first. And you also, and you also will be able to determine, you know, whether it's better to work with somebody, to work without somebody, to where to get money, whatever it would be. All of those things will come from the lessons that you learn by asking 3 simple questions of every pertinent, relevant decision, which is, what are you doing today? What do you like about it? And what don't you like about it? And then applying those to see where it's synergistic or supplementary to your values. And then you'll know what to do, who can help you, and how best to effectuate it, because you will have the confirmation of the overwhelmed feeling that you have today, the insecurity that you have today, and the interference that you've created, because you'll be able to prioritize the what, the who, and the how by what's important to you, not what's important to everyone else, the meanings that have created interference of the inflection points and defined moments of your past that you suggested, but what's important to you today with the what, the who, and the how. And you'll be able to apply your why, and you will be more statistically successful and inspired by that than anything else. Would love to help you with this. You have a great perspective and trajectory. I hope you follow that advice. Everyone, think about that template. Happy to give you the open-minded, open-ended question template that allows you to decipher an open mind from a closed mind at that time, and utilize and figure out not only what they like and what they don't like, but how you could help and how they could help you. Thank you, everyone. It is the end of the Future of Friday training, the end of the future of work. Please join me every Friday or somewhere near Friday. We have so many people involved. If there's any questions they have, I'm here every day. You can email me. It's free. It's david@dmeltzer.com. Get those templates, guides, my books, whatever you want. I'm happy to help. That's why I'm here on a mission to empower people to be happy, to make more money, help more people, and have more fun. Jakey Bakey, please, I thank you from Portugal. Close out the room. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to see everybody here from Portugal. Thank you for your patience to allow us to do a Friday training on a Thursday. It's the future of work and the future of Friday training on a Thursday. Remember, you can email me, david@dmeltzer.com, if you need anything. We'll be back tomorrow. We're here every day. We're here to be of service of value, and so should you. So remember, be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self, and do good deeds. Thank you.